moon is probably the most important part that you can know in your chart. Naturally, we are emotionally driven human beings, no matter how logical we think we are. And the moon in our birth chart represents our emotions, what kind of emotions we tend to feel, what emotional struggles we have, what emotional patterns we have, and what we need for emotional fulfillment. But that's all based off of the sign that your moon is in. So in this video series, I'm covering what it means to have your moon in each of the 12 houses. Specifically in this video, I'm covering what it means to have your moon in your 12th house, because knowing the house that your moon is in will tell you where you seek emotional fulfillment in your life and where you can find that emotional fulfillment. Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Isabelle and I help you understand who you are using personality typing and astrology, because I was the kind of person who did not understand themselves or know themselves for way too long. I believed anything anyone said about me. I didn't have a sense of self, and that led me to not really knowing what I wanted the most. Then I discovered the personality typing systems like Myers-Briggs, MBTI, and the Enneagram and astrology, and all of a sudden everything made sense. I had a sense of self, I found a sense of identity that was not outsourced to these systems, and I figured out what I wanted for the first time. So now I teach you how to understand these systems so that you can find what you value too. In this video series, I'm covering what it means to have your moon in each house. And I'm super stoked to be filming this because the moon is quite possibly the most important aspect you can know in your chart. When I discovered my moon sign and house placement, I was mind blown, and it's changed how I interacted with my daily life every day ever since. So in this video, I'm covering what it means to have your moon in your 11th house. If you're unfamiliar with what a moon is in your birth chart, I will be covering that, and I'll be covering what the houses are, because chances are you might be new to the houses if you're new to astrology and you have no idea what the heck that even is. I was the same way when I first got into astrology. I had no clue what it meant. So I'm going to be covering everything you need to know about moons, houses, and specifically what it means to have your moon in your 11th house in this video. So first off, what is the moon in our birth chart? You likely already know about your moon sign vaguely, because when you're first introduced to astrology, people ask for your big three, which is your sun, your rising, and your moon sign. So the sun sign has to do with the ego self, how we generally perceive ourselves and what we value. Our rising sign is how we appear to people at a first glance, but our moon sign is much deeper. Our moon is our emotions. The sign that our moon is in shows us what kind of emotions we have, what emotions we struggle with, what our emotional strengths and weaknesses are, what our emotional patterns are, and what we need for emotional fulfillment. But that's based off of the sign that your moon is in. House your moon is in shows you where you seek that emotional fulfillment. Your moon also tells you what you act like when you're around people you trust the most, because our emotions are something that are close to our heart. We tend to try to keep them safe. We want to make sure other people can't read them too easily, or else we may be vulnerable and then we could get hurt. But when we get close to people and when we're comfortable with them, this is the side of us that people see. In an example, I am a moon in Cancer in 7th house. So what that means is my emotions tend to be soft and sensitive, and I'm very in tune with my emotions because Cancer is a water sign, which is associated with emotion. So I'm very soft and squishy on the inside, and it's in my 7th house of partnership, which means I seek fulfillment in my emotions, emotional fulfillment, through my partnerships with other people. I need a partnership in order to have emotional fulfillment. It also means that in my partnerships, I seek nurturing, because Cancer is about nurturing. And it means that when I feel close to people, because it's my moon sign, I will show this soft and sensitive side of me to people I trust. But that's an example for a different situation. That's my moon in 7th house. So what does it mean to have your moon in your 11th house? And what even is a house in the first place? There are 12 houses in astrology. Your houses placement is dictated by your time of birth. So if you don't know your time of birth, you won't know what house your moon is in, or any other planet. You won't know what your rising is either, because your rising is your first house. So there are 12 houses in your birth chart, and those are the 12 areas of your life. Some houses represent identity, some are about our career, some are about our romance, some is about our travels, whatever it is. There's 12 houses, and they represent the 12 areas of our lives. One thing I like to keep in mind about the houses that helped me understand them a lot and might help you too is that each house reflects a zodiac sign. The houses were created off of the zodiac signs, as far as I know. And so the first house reflects Aries themes, the second house reflects Taurus, third house reflects Gemini, etc. So the 12 houses are based off of those zodiac signs, and it can help you understand what each of those areas of life are truly about. So the 11th house in astrology reflects Aquarius. And if we know anything about Aquarius, Aquarius is the community-oriented neutral innovator. They're both quirky and yet emotionless in a way at the same time. They can be somewhat prideful in their differentness. But what does that mean when applied to just the house? The 11th house is all about our community. It is our social group, our friend groups, big groups of people, not necessarily one-on-one partnerships, and not the people who feel like family, but our big community groups. This comes after the 10th house, which is all about our career, so it could be said to, in a way, be the community that is formed off of our professional personality. So big groups of people, community. It is also, though, our big dreams. So big communities, big dreams. Those are the two key points of the 11th house. So the 11th house is mainly about our social groups that we're a part of, but it can also be about our big visions, how we see making an impact, what our vision for the future is, how we see making ripples, so to say. So what does it mean to have your moon in your 11th house? This means that you seek emotional fulfillment through a community. You're probably someone who loves being part of social groups. You want to feel like you have a place within a community. So you find emotional fulfillment the more you are part of a big group. It also means that because the 11th house is not just about our communities, but is also about our big visions, you might be someone who has a lot of dreams and visions, who constantly is changing their dreams and visions, but doesn't quite do what they need to do to live any of them to the fullest. This is because your moon sign is in your 11th house and your emotions are constantly changing. So it's hard for you to stick with one dream or vision. Overall, you're someone who is very welcoming to a social group. You try to make other people feel accepted in a social group, and you are a social butterfly. You want to fit in amongst the social group and amongst your community. You might, depending on the sign that your moon is in, it might change how you appear amongst your community, but chances are you're someone who tries to morph themselves to fit into social groups in the past. You might be someone who takes on different personas in order to make sure that you fit in within the group. And when you do, when you fit in amongst that group, you feel so fulfilled because being a part of a community is the most important thing to you. Finding a community that shares similar beliefs to you is probably one of the most important things you can do. Because the 11th house kind of reflects Aquarius themes, Aquarius is all about uplifting each other with similar values. And so you need to find, for emotional fulfillment with a moon in 11th house, you need to find a community that shares the same values as you and supports you for who you are, especially because the moon is about how we appear when we trust people the most. So are you being the most vulnerable, authentic version of yourself in a community? Are you aligned with your values? Or is your community not feeling that? And now you feel like you have to morph who you are and hide who you are truly in order to fit in with the group. So the good news is, for the moon in 11th house, you find so much fulfillment once you find that right community and friend group that you want to be a part of. The bad news is that because you have your moon in your community center, you might feel that your community changes a lot as your emotions change because they go hand in hand. It is likely that you're someone who might have a lot of emotional highs and lows, and when you're feeling high, you want to be social with everyone, and when you're low, you might assume the worst of people and disconnect harshly from everyone. Just notice these emotional patterns. There's nothing wrong with them. It's only that you need to be aware of them and decide what you need for emotional fulfillment. One thing I always think about with the moon sign is that It's our emotional fulfillment, but it's also our emotional patterns. So it's something to dance with for sure. We have to first realize what our emotional pattern is with our moon placement, our sign and house that it's in, and try to break the pattern. And then we can try to fulfill the moon sign, because we really do need to fulfill our moon sign. If we don't seek that emotional fulfillment, we will be distressed and ill at ease. But if we allow ourselves to keep reliving the same emotional patterns, then we find ourselves just living in a cycle and not understanding what the heck is wrong with us. So if you have a moon in 11th house, you might find yourself going through constant changes in your community, hopping from one social group to the next and feeling like you never quite fit in enough. But it might be that you just need to recognize who you truly are by recognizing the sign your moon is in, and then finding a social group that aligns with who you are and what you value, and merging yourself, being a part of that community. And then you'll find that you repeat your emotional patterns much less. If this video helped you understand what it means to have your moon in your 11th house, please leave a comment below and let me know. And let me know what sign your 11th house moon is in, and I will give you a little bit of information on what that means. If you want to learn more, if you have more questions about astrology or your birth chart, if you have any questions at all, we can book a 30-minute reading for $30 in the link in the description below, and you can ask any question that you want about astrology within this 30-minute time frame. While you're down there, you should grab the free birth chart workbook, where I help you understand the basics of your chart so that you can actually apply the information of your chart instead of just taking in the information like I did when I first started looking into astrology. I was missing out on a huge gold mine, and I did not understand how my birth chart helped me for way too long. So the free birth chart workbook is in the link in the description below, and it'll help you do that. If you're new to astrology, or if you're someone who's been reading a lot about astrology for a really long time but hasn't quite understood how to apply it, the birth chart workbook is for you. So grab it in the link in the description below. While you're down there, you might want to check out the Making Mindfulness Fun bundle, where we're offering all 30 of our workbooks and courses for $30. That's $1 per course and per workbook. And we have courses and workbooks on chakras, astrology, Enneagram, and so much more in there. So grab the Making Mindfulness Fun bundle now in the link in the description below before I stop offering it, because I have no idea how long I'm going to offer it for. So leave that comment below, grab the Making Mindfulness Fun bundle, maybe check out Be the Hero Academy, where we help you script, journal, and stay empowered to be the hero of your story in alignment with your personality and cultivate more self-love. If you're someone who wants someone in the corner who is helping you stay on your path to highest growth, if you want positive people who motivate you to stay on your path to growth, and you want to be a part of a group of people who are all inspired to be their best selves, then Be the Hero Academy is for you. It's in the link in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and stay tuned for more videos on the moon through the houses. Be sure to check out our series on the moon through the signs on our channel so that you can learn more about what it means to have your moon in your sign, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more. Once again, my name is Isabelle. Thank you so much for watching this video. From my heart to yours, namaste.